Hey everyone, it's Amy D, and this message is for all of you out there who are trying to have a conversation and a dialogue with somebody who doesn't seem to be able to have a conversation back with you. Maybe it's somebody in your family, it could be a business ship, it could be a friendship, it could be a love relationship, and the two of you just beat heads. You just keep on knocking heads, and clearly there are no boundaries where you two meet in the middle. So the deal is that in a relationship, there's three sides of the relationship. So there's you, there's the other person, and then there's the relationship, which is also almost a being, right? And the two of you need to make an agreement of where it is that you meet in the middle. So I'm going to get personal. I'm having a conversation via text with a girlfriend of mine who I absolutely love and adore. She's one of my best friends. But for whatever reason, she's read my communication and my dialogue completely wrong. And so now we're having this defiance and this conflict, right? Because we clearly haven't set the guidelines for the relationship and the boundaries. So I don't like to be on text. And anyone who knows me knows I just don't do text. I don't like it. I can't text very well. It's just not my thing. I don't understand what has happened today where there's all this great technology with FaceTime and Skype where you can actually see each other, even if you don't live in the same neighborhood, right? You know, you don't have to meet physically to be able to look at each other's face, and we don't use this awesome technology. We text, we email, we use all of these other apps that are, you know, all about messaging, and those messages can get so misconstrued. And this is the deal. We need to create boundaries, and I invite you in all of your relationships that don't seem to be working for you to create some boundaries and some guidelines where you can meet in the middle. So what would work for her and what would work for me would be for the two of us to set a date, number one, to have a conversation. And if that doesn't work, then what would happen is I would then use my form of communication, which would be video or even an audio message, so that she could hear my communication and my dialogue with her, and she could hear the emotion behind my voice, and she could hear that I truly love and adore her and think she's amazing and have no idea what this is all about. And then she could get back to me the way that she would, whether it's email or whatever the case may be, but at least we're having some kind of a dialogue that then can say, okay, this is funny, like, let's laugh this off. Because anytime you're in conflict or defiance, you're in what we would call level 2 energy, right? And it's a catabolic state. It's heavy, it's viscous, it doesn't feel good. And it's not a place that anybody really wants to stay. But in order for you to get into a space of taking responsibility and ownership, then you have to take responsibility over how you would want to dialogue with that person. So number one, you have to send out the initiation. You have to take responsibility if you really are interested in having a relationship with a person and have a conversation with them. And at least explain yourself or whatever the case is, and use your form of dialogue, your form of communication to reach out to them so that you can feel comfortable in the situation. And then what you're doing is you're leading by example, and you're being the positive reflection that you want to see in the world by leading from the inside out, leading from the heart in the way that you normally would. And then the second piece is that they have to receive it, obviously, and they get to communicate back to you. Now, if they don't get back to you, then you can use their form of dialogue, whether it be text message or email, and you set a date to have a conversation, as we talked about before. And if that doesn't work, then maybe there's a challenge here. Maybe it's just not meant to be. Maybe you need a break. Maybe this relationship has outlived itself and you need to move on. And if that's the case, then that's for you to really tell and to judge on your own whether or not this works for you or doesn't. But if it's not feeding you and you continue to beat your head against a wall, or you continue to show up and somebody's not showing up too, then clearly it's not about guidelines or it's not about boundaries. It's just about the fact that the other person doesn't want to be in a relationship with you. So again, to recap, the first thing you do is you use your own form of dialogue. The second thing you do is you create a date. And then the third thing that you would do is to create the guidelines so that the two of you can meet in the middle. Remember, there's the two of you and the other person, and the third part of the relationship is the relationship. And this truly will help you be the positive reflection you want to see in the world. Because if you're acting from a space of empowerment and taking responsibility and ownership over your own being and the way that you would like to see things go, then you're truly going to inspire others and motivate others from a place of empowerment. I hope this helps somebody out there, and I will let you know how it all goes. And again, lead from the heart and be the positive reflection that you like to see in the world by empowering others and being yourself. Until next time.